Child marriage is a cruel practice which steals girls' childhoods and chance to build their own futures. Currently, Zimbabwe is one of the African countries with the widespread presence of child marriages. According to the United Nations, approximately 1 in every 3 girls is married off before the age of 18. Recent reports in the country have revealed that child marriages in Zimbabwe is slowly culminating into a pandemic. Junior Brigadier General Dylan Chiponda discusses the situation of child marriages in Kwekwe.
The issue of child marriages in Kwekwe district has increased in amazement to everyone in the Kwekwe district, because we see that during the COVID-19 and after schools opened, many children were married off and many children got married. The numbers now have tended to be very high, because we see that in Kwekwe district, since we opened schools, it's like only like 65% were present to the reopening of schools. Where is the remaining 35%? The remaining 35%, we lost them to early child marriages. For instance, at my school, in my class, we lost about 4 who were married off to child marriages. And the problem is we do not have that stable educational system that we were capacitated in knowing the calendar itself. Because some thought that during the COVID, I think it's the end of our educational careers, because we do not think that we could open schools. And others were learning online, were doing schools online, while those in the rural areas were not capacitated with such. So they thought that it's better that we get married. I think it's the only resortful method that is left, to get married, to be a housewife, because our futures have ended. We see that now the numbers have increased. Even nationally, we had that amazing number, which is like 5,000, which is the first of such time. We have never had a number that we have 5,000 children being married off in only 2 months, because we are not protecting these children. We only talk about safeguarding, but we are not doing the things that are needed on the ground. If we speak, let's take action. If we say no to child marriages, we should say no to child marriages with action. If we say no to children being married off, we must take our stand. Even those child advocates, those other organizations, they must work in hand with communities, rather than having the paperwork protest, which is rather not helping in this time and area of Kwekwe districts of the nation at large, because 5,000 is a big number, and in Kwekwe district 65% are only attending school. That's something that is very horrendous. We have never seen such, and it's actually shocking, because it's actually happening to children. Because if we lose more children like this, I don't think we are going to go anywhere. These kids, we want them to be the breadwinners of tomorrow. We want them to be the presidents of tomorrow. We want them to be the lawyers of tomorrow. But with such numbers, I don't think it will be possible. We must be aware of what we are doing and how we are capacitating our children with the right to education properly, and how we are protecting and doing the child safeguarding into action.
Old partners have of recent been labeled by many civic society organizations as being the perpetrators of child marriages. Chiponda says that in Kwekwe there are some powerful gold partners who are seen picking up the girl child in expensive vehicles at schools.
The issue of the gold partners abusing or sleeping with the girl children in schools is beginning to increase, as the rush for gold in the Kwekwe district is also increasing as well. We see that a girl cannot say no, because some of these people have political power. Some of these people have the right to a big status in the society or in the district at large. These people come to school. Yes, they come to school. We see them almost like every day after our normal routines. We go home, etc. There are cars outside the school. They are waiting for those girl children. They cannot say no. They are afraid of being beaten. They are being threatened if they say no. These people now are taking advantage of the girl child. They sleep with the girl child. They're having sexual activities with the girl child. Sometimes even being given STIs. On a much broader page, we see syphilis, gonorrhea, etc. these people, they are taking advantage of children just because they have the instrument of money, the instrument of status, and the instrument of political power. Now, the VFU has began to be quite a silent sector in addressing these issues, because we see long ago the VFU would address such issues, would go into schools, would be outside school gates, monitoring if there's a car or a necessary movement. They would address those issues. But now there's no more that kind of system and strategy, of which that's the system and strategy that we need right now to lessen that situation of gold banners, because now children cannot even say no, and now girl children do not even have those people who would buy them sanitary, where they are inside our resources like perfumes, etc. They turn to these gold banners because these people come with money. They use the instrument of money, and those girl children cannot say no.
SRHR is an important aspect for children because it allows girls to choose whether, when and with whom to engage in sexual activities and when to have children. However, Chiponda says due to the recent strikes by the teachers in schools, children are no longer receiving adequate SRHR education.
The issue of sexual and reproductive health education has come to light like recently as the solution to child marriages, to child sexual exploitation, as it provides the information that is given to children to make them understand of why we say that abstinence is great and sexual intercourse, sexual activities at a young age is bad. We see that these SRHR education sessions were carried out by teachers, but now since teachers are incapacitated, we now have a problem. These children now do not even have the access to that SRHR sessions by the GNC teachers, by the other senior women officials or senior masters, because the teachers are incapacitated, worsening the situation now in Zimbabwe, because now children have a tendency of not being afraid to practicing sexual activities. They are now seeing it as something that is usual and normal, because those people that used to teach them like every day, they are now incapacitated. Those civil society organizations, they are now that close to be as quiet, because they used to come to those schools like every week, but now we don't see them. Now the situation has worsened, because now the SRHR sector is now like dismantled, because both of its supporters, they are incapacitated. So what's the way forward? Yeah, if teachers are not incapacitated, if they join hand in hand with the civil society organizations to teach these SRHR sessions, I think it would be a great idea, and also to establish and give action to these SRHR clubs in schools, because there's no better person that understands the children than their other peers, for children by children, for youth by youth. I think many of us know that. If we also award the children with that much platform and leeway to teaching other children about SRHR education, I think it will lessen the situation a little bit, because they are now ringing sense into each other's heads, being supported by teachers and civil society organization members.
He also stated that there is also need for moral behavior amongst children in schools.
Now we see that the behaviors and personalities and attitude of our dear children are changing bit by bit, be it be influenced by social media, be it be influenced by law. We see that the respect that the children used to have before we abolished such laws, bills, etc. It has now changed. Now a child does not even have respect for an elder person. Even if you see that in a society, a grown-up cannot tell the other child of a certain parent that don't do this. The child will tend to say that you are not my father, you are not my mother, because now the law is leading the children astray. What must we do? We speak of child awareness campaigns. We talk of the parents coming in, the teachers coming in. They must have a joint structure to groom these children, because now children they are now vulnerable. they are at a certain point that they are misguided. They do not have those teachings like we used to have before, because we see that since the law of corporal punishment has been abolished, now parents seem to be not attending to their children properly. They seem to be rather silent on reprimanding their children, because they feel like the law cut that tie of having that motherly or fatherly to children born, of which that is false. That law was cut because we see that there was a high rate of abusive behavior by parents to the children. And also, I also blame children, because as they have their rights, they are abusing their rights. If we give them the right to education, they have the responsibility to go to school, not the responsibility of going out abusing drugs, doing sexual exploitation, because they cannot be capacitated with the corporal punishment, which was rather abolished. We must talk to these children, sit with them down, and provide a career guidance session. The teachers are there, the parents are there, those NGOs are there. We do child awareness campaigns, because we are not seeing much action that is being put into place to help these children, to guide these children. We are simply giving them a leeway of letting them just loose like that. We no more have that parental care that a parent sits down with his or her children, gives them the way of life. Now our parents are often busy with their work, etc. They're now obsessed with social media, that they turn to not reprimand and sit down with their children and have those career sessions with their children like we used to have before. We must help our children. We must be there with our children, because when they achieve, they are not going to forget you. They will be there to say that these are my parents and they were there to guide me, rather than when they achieve, they say that you weren't there and you were not there to guide me, but you left me to be eaten by my own dreams. To my fellow colleagues and to my fellow peers, don't be controlled and driven by those people who you see with cars that have money, that you tend to go to do illegal gold panning, or being controlled by those people as the girl child. You see that we do have a brighter future ahead. If life is not controlled by you, who else is going to control it? Yes, some might label you as you are far way behind. These people are the real thing, but no. Words are like days, they come and go. You are there to shape your future. You are there to groom yourself. You are there to make yourself someone in society. Being you and owning your own stage and owning your life and owning your career is a big achievement that one can achieve into being successful and achieving his or her goals towards his own vision and mission. I just say, just be you, be adamant, go and conquer. You can do it and you will do it, because you are what you are, because God has a purpose for everyone. God knows what you are going to do in the future, and everyone has a reason to be on earth.
Despite Zimbabwe having ratified various international conventions and declarations on child rights, particularly the Convention on the Rights of the Child, many girls continue to suffer at the hands of discriminatory laws. The lack of attention to child marriages does not only deny girls their right to personal development, but also undermine the achievement of the sustainable developmental goals.
So, we have just heard from a Junior Brigadier General Dylan Chiponda there, talking to us, discussing the issue of child marriages, which has become a problem in the country and a problem also in the city of Kwekwe, where gold panners are taking advantage of the girl child. So I would like to advise parents at home to educate the girl child on the importance of SRH, and let's educate even the boys on the importance of this SRH era, so that we prepare these children for the future. This is Perseverance Jarangwe reporting for the Community Voices in Zimbabwe.